If my father caught me, he would cut my neck, so I just kept going. Broken sticks and sharp stones gouged my bare feet, but I didn't consider the sensation. A branch whipped across my face. I felt the sting, and for an instant I was fully blind, but I didn't stop. His flashlight sliced into the woods on either side of me. The beam was like a knife, and I didn't want it on my back. He was out there, behind me, somewhere in these woods. This kind of engaging, suspenseful, visceral, fast-paced writing is characteristic of Augusten Burroughs' A Wolf at the Table. Published in 2008, it's a memoir that reads like a modern thriller. The audience is constantly going back and forth between empathizing with common elements of childhood, like family pets and fighting with siblings, and then the traumatic memories, just the horror at hearing about how the author had to try to reconcile living with a sociopathic father and a mentally unstable mother. I would recommend using this book in a high school context. It does have some mature themes like mental disorders, explicit language, and a few sexual themes. The language itself is not particularly difficult or complex to understand, mostly because the author makes an effort to use his words and his language to reflect the understanding that he had at the particular age that he is writing about. This book doesn't have a particularly heavy knowledge demand, but some useful things you might want to discuss before delving into it are mental disorders like depression, sociopathic tendencies, trauma, and just elements of the memoir genre. A Wolf at the Table is loosely chronologically structured. It begins with Burroughs' earliest childhood memories as a toddler, trying to understand why his father would never want to pick him up, why his mother would tell him that, oh, your father isn't safe to be around right now, so we need to leave the house for weeks at a time, to just retrospective analysis of some of the mistakes that he made as a young adult. And in keeping with many other texts with this genre, it doesn't read like a novel where it goes smoothly from one plot point to the next. Sometimes the reader is thrown to this jarring, traumatic memory, but it really doesn't stray from this chronological order. It goes to the extent of Burroughs retrospectively thinking about memories or setting up some foreshadowing for other events that he is going to talk about later in the book. Burroughs does a really good job of connecting all of these different childhood memories with the theme of the impact his father had emotionally, psychologically, physically on him and his mother and his older brother. One feature of the text that I think is worth studying in the classroom is the creation and development of the people and places in the book. It's incredible how the author can take these disjointed memories and still provide a very clear and detailed picture of the settings. Analyzing how this author achieves this effect, especially when it comes to the detailed imagery that he provides for the physical structure of the house that he grew up in, would be very useful for students. Another thing to think about is the characters. Traditional methods of focusing on dialogue, physical attributes, and interactions between characters work very well. I suggest focusing on the mother, the father, the older brother, and the speaker, especially on things like the physical appearance of characters, like his father's flaky psoriatic skin, and habits like the speaker's need for incessant questioning. I also recommend spending some time unpacking the use and impact of the structure and organization of the text. The interesting thing about this book is that many fictional literature elements can be applied in analyzing this text as well. There's a lot of imagery and distinctive poetic elements like rhythm, language patterns, and other figurative language that Burroughs uses. Look out for these textual elements as you're studying this book and discuss what purpose they achieve. Things like how using figurative language and certain literary devices can blur the lines between fiction and nonfiction, and how the tone of the speaker colors the descriptions of the memories in the text. What really elevates this text to a level that is worthy of discussion and study in a classroom is the interconnectedness of the themes and the multiple levels of meaning that you can extract from the language. If you've already read it and you have other suggestions for using it in the classroom, or if you have other questions about such things, then feel free to leave a comment below. I hope that you get a chance to read it and to enjoy it, and let me know how you like it or if you didn't like it. Yeah, thanks for watching.